Tonight, the tango incident. Daniel and Ram play the Super Cyclone Challenge. And we get to see the Team Hypo at last on the final day of the Atlantic hurricane season. In at number 30. We're getting into the top 30 now, not too far from the end. Well, over the years, of course, Force 13 has advanced in many different ways, graphically, visually more than anything, but of course on the audio as well. One of the things that has evolved several times in the last few years, very quick evolution, is the storm icons. And here's a little bit on that.
Watching it before when he had the older channel. I have no idea what it was called. I completely blown past my mind what you call the older channel, because if people are watching this and don't know, he had Nathan had another channel before he created Force 13. I don't know what he named it, but I remember seeing some videos off of that and the icons. And back then the videos weren't in HD, they were in 480p. The icons were, you know, he did the best with, to give Nathan credit, he did the best with what he could do or what he had at the time.
I think it's been said often enough now that it started as an experiment, and this was the very first animation that was produced, the 2009 Atlantic hurricane season animation. This was produced in September 2010, and for the first time ever we saw the icons. Also curious about this animation is that it contained the invests as well. As you can see here, extremely basic, but the funny thing is that it uses almost an identical piece of software that is what is still used today in the full season animations. The software hasn't barely changed at all. What has changed a lot is the creativity, the ideas, and the brain power.
We got to see more features being added into the hurricane season animations. We saw satellite imagery being added into it as well also. And we saw the icons when I don't know if still has this feature, but if a storm was getting up in the scale of Category 4 rains, the darkness of the icon would increase until it becomes, you know, a 4 or 5, and I thought that was quite remarkable too.
Now, a lot of people say that the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale is getting to be a little bit of a problem. When we've had storms like Florence, which only, according to some people, only struck as a Category 1 hurricane when it made landfall, only. Well, we know it was much worse than what you'd expect from a typical Category 1, especially after its Category 4 peak, with all of the storm surge and the flooding risks that it packed with it. But the average Joe doesn't know any of this stuff. They just look at the Category 1 logo and think, not a problem at all. Well, in late 2016, Devon made it public that he was working on the Cyclone Destruction Potential scale. For my money, much better than the Saffir-Simpson scale. I'm sure Devon will be even more convincing about what the benefits are of his new device.
Alright, so the start of the CDPS scale actually goes all the way back to 2010, is when I made the first ever iteration of it. And it was basically an open-ended version of the Hurricane Severity Index, if you guys know what that is. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's something sort of similar, but there's some key differences that you'll notice, especially with the newest version that will be rolling out in 2019 that I'm actually very, very stoked about. But then it had wind size and minimum pressure was the third third parameter. Now the third parameter has changed. The third parameter started to be minimum pressure. Then that changed to forward speed. And now in 2019, that's going to be changed to maximum rainfall. And I think that's honestly the most appropriate thing to go there. I saw that it fits very well and actually makes the data actually fit a line almost 10 times better than the forward speed parameter. So it ends up working really well.
It's currently located just off those islands and is a stage 10 on the CDPS scale, extreme total damage expected wherever the storm makes landfall if it were to do so right now. Now, thanks to Isaac, this was probably covered in full during part 1, but I guess we'll have to do it a little bit again because it is a big thing. We're now going to talk more in general about the Harvey coverage of 2017. So, what is there to say? What a storm. Hurricane Harvey was the 8th named storm of the 2017 hurricane season and was the first storm to make a major hurricane landfall in the United States since 2005, ending the longest such gap in United States history. Harvey is also tied for the 4th strongest hurricane landfall along the coast of Texas.
So here it was just a really rainy weekend here, and it was breezy and windy. Obviously, it wasn't too bad here. We were spared the worst of it, obviously, but you go about, I'd say, 20 miles to my east, and there was the worst flooding on the Colorado River in about 100 years. Bastrop and down towards LaGrange, they saw some serious flood damage. Further south, they saw some pretty bad flood damage, and obviously as you get towards Houston and the coast, it got a whole lot worse. But I mean, here, we were lucky, I'd say.
I'm not sure whether the general public were thinking that the storm was over by the time it reached the Yucatan, but it certainly looked very poor indeed. But those of us in the know and within the community were pretty much in agreement that this was going to redevelop and probably reach hurricane status in the Gulf as it moved towards Texas. Of course, early models also suggested that possibly it would land on the south side of the border in Mexico, and very few models actually predicted the Category 4 landfall that Harvey did, although there may have been one or two.
It's something to behold that such a hurricane at this has pretty much defied all expectations of it. It's pretty much bent the boundaries quite a bit, and pretty much near off all of its life. It's bent all of it, it's pushed the boundaries by quite a substantial margin. And looking at the last image, this eye is just getting better and better, and it's getting a lot more defined and a better defined stadium effect.
For a long time it stood as the most viewed video ever on Force 13. It appeared on many different newspapers in Australia, it was on CNN's website, it was on Russia Today's website. The Cyclone Debbie ISS video. It was also #1 trending on YouTube Australia for a day back in 2017. One of my biggest achievements as the owner of the channel, one of our biggest achievements as the channel itself. And here's a little bit more about it. It's no secret that to me the International Space Station produces some of the most fantastic imagery that we'll see of some of these storms, and spacecraft have been doing it for many years. This time it was Cyclone Debbie in early 2017, and I guess my aim in posting the Cyclone International Space Station videos is to have it shown to the world, to get everyone else to see it as well, and with the help of many other media outlets out there who shared our video, it did.
Well, it's been left behind, hasn't it? By another video.
Now, I'm not sure how to introduce this one. On April 3rd, 2015, Michael went on air on YouTube. However, the event only lasted for 6 minutes before going off the air due to many technical difficulties, including the tango incident. Not just that though, a load of other things went wrong as well. Let's watch it in full.
Nathan Foy, just want to introduce yourself? Hi. Hello. Can you see my face?
Yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah, just like yours, Mike.
Touche. So tonight we're going to be doing.
Who else? Who else is with us tonight? And now Michael's thing is playing back as well.
Oh my god. Oh, for God's sake.
Excellent start, Michael.
I'm losing everything.
Oh dear, it's come on, Mike. Oh, like I'm going to please myself for a while.
Hello.
Okay, Wan, you'll stop that, please.
Hello, who's this?
Okay then, so...
Who's ringing me? Hello? So who are you trying to call? I've just picked up the phone because it said international.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Michael.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. Okay, so tonight we're going to be discussing what's happening tropics-wise at the moment. As we know, we have Typhoon Maysak active. They're not so much a typhoon now, although I believe it still is a Category 1 or a Category 2 storm on the Saffir-Simpson scale. But we'll get more detailed information for you momentarily.
What category was it? Cat 1 or 2? It's down to Cat 1 now. It's 90 miles an hour. Category 1.
Okay. So at the moment, oh, I've lost my train of thought. You've just thrown me right off, Nathan.
Sorry, I'll help you out a bit. Maysak has winds of 90 miles per hour. Expected to make landfall, possibly as a typhoon.
Yeah. Again, so just to kick off, sugar. Oh, for God's sake, this is off to a.
No, Michael. Okay, calm down. No swearing.
This is off to a flyer sort of a start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to take a break for like 2 minutes.
Goodness knows what's going on in here now, but I think Michael will be back momentarily.
There we go. Oh, for God's sake.
Okay, Mike, let's calm down, shall we?
Please.
Okay, shall I tell everyone what's going on? The signal warn warning's in effect for parts of the Philippines.
Who is that?
I'm not going to bother anymore.
Oh, for God's sake.
Michael, you might want to... I think we've got someone hijacking the live event, Michael. You need to do something about it, man.
It's who?
Who's that?
Who's that?
It's who?
Go now. What the f*** is that?
It's Michael. Nick really wants your attention, Michael.
I can't understand you.
He keeps saying... he keeps saying, send me an invite. Who are we talking about?
Oh, sake.
And
Yeah,
there
but,
it is.
But you're on there, aren't you? What? I don't get it.
Nathan.
Yeah.
In London.
I'm having really bad difficulties at the moment because I've just spilled a tango.
Oh
It's gone all
dear.
over my desk.
Terrible news.
Terrible news it was. I sounded so sincere. Although I really was getting the giggles myself. Not as much as Daniel was, though. Well, the online community reacted with nearly unanimous amusement, with appearances on the clip on prominent late-night television shows on both sides of the Atlantic. The phrase, "you've been tangoed," is largely accepted to be a reference taken directly from reaction to this episode. Many media and broadcasting courses in educational institutions now show this video as an example of how not to run a production, and in a survey, 99% of students said that watching the video had benefited them. And by the way, 5 out of 4 of our facts are correct.
Okay, guys. See you later. We're going offline. Bye.
Now, you may remember when the first tropical weather bulletins went out in 2013. It was a great idea, and it was helped upon as well, built upon a little bit by our team member Jason at the time as well, to make it look even better later on. It had a few revisions throughout its time as well. It's still going today. At some point we'll be bringing them back as soon as I can get a moment's edgeways. But this is the evolution of the Tropical Weather Bulletin, a staple on the Force 13 project. What do you think of when you hear the music and the opening titles? Now, don't give me a smart answer, it's the Tropical Weather Bulletin, and it's been here for quite some time now. The 2018 ones, in my opinion, have been the best because I've been able to interact with it in real time without having to wait for the slides to move on in the process. Hello and welcome to Tropical Weather Bulletin for August the 31st. It's a busy time that we're entering, and it is usually the busiest time of the year. Climatologically speaking, there's 3 cyclones and 3 invests active, and out of those particular cyclones, they are quite something to behold right now. First of all, let's look at the Eastern Pacific Ocean. This is how the East Pac's looking right now. Miriam just entered the Central Pacific in the last... That was around 24 hours ago now, but it's still not too far away from the boundary line. It's not going to affect the Hawaiian Islands, you'll be pleased to know. Although there was something about the old ones that I quite liked as well. Looks a little bit dated now, but at the time they were also groundbreaking. This is Tropical Weather Bulletin number 82 for July the 1st, 2014. There are 2 tropical storms in the Eastern Pacific right now, Douglas and Elida, which have both formed on the same day. The pros of Tropical Weather Bulletins? Well, everything's covered. That is the main pro, so from a viewer point of view, that's excellent if you want to know about everything that's going on worldwide. The cons? Well, you have to skip through the video if you're only interested in one particular storm or one part of it. And also, it is quite a big task to make a tropical weather bulletin, bigger of course than a normal storm update even today, but by a lesser margin than it used to be. It used to take 3 hours. Guam and the Micronesian island of Pohnpei. Now, hypothetical hurricane seasons have really become very famous on the Force 13 channel. By the way, we uploaded a few earlier this year or last year on Force 13 Extra. One of them now has 70-something thousand views, which is a lot more than our first ever hypothetical hurricane season on the main channel. I don't get it, quite honestly, but people like hypothetical hurricane seasons. But what came before them? There was one particular animation that set off the whole thing on this channel. What gave life to the idea of hypothetical hurricane seasons on the Force 13 channel wasn't the idea of hypothetical hurricane seasons itself, but actually something based loosely off the real world. It was a very interesting concept, the 2099 Atlantic hurricane season. Remember it? It was the 99th video that Force 13 had ever released, out in 2012, and it put together several of the most active seasons in the Atlantic Basin at the same time. For the purpose of our critical review, the video has been sped up. As you can see, May was pretty quaint. June, things started to warm up quite a bit with Alison and Barry and Arlene, Chantal moving through. As we get towards the later part of June, a few storms going out to sea. Well, things really start to hot up as we enter the month of July, of course, as we see many of the seasons really start to pipe up in the real world. As you can see, 2005's imprint is quite heavily shown here, and 1 or 2 storms chasing each other as well as we get into the middle to late part of July. August heralds even more storms and stronger storms as as you can see, moving through there in the middle of August, and now you can see several major hurricanes at once. Excellent. Well, it's only going to get worse. At the end of August, things go absolutely nuts. Now, I think it's very interesting to look back on a lot of firsts on the Force 13 channel. The first time this happened, the first time that happened, the first time I started doing storm update narrations. Well, I can tell you when that was. The first storm update narration occurred during Cyclone Claudia in December 2012. Welcome to update 1 for Cyclone Claudia, number 3S. Welcome to update 1. The newest storm of the South Indian Ocean has formed. Cyclone Claudia is its name, and this is the first narrated video from Force 13. Welcome to the first update of Cyclone Claudia, the South Indian Ocean's newest storm, and the third one of that season. Welcome to the first update of the South Indian Ocean's newest storm, the third of the season, Cyclone Claudia, designated 3S. Welcome to update 1 of the South Indian Ocean's newest storm, Cyclone Claudia, which is the first storm that I've ever... As you can see, quite a bit more strict back then in what is good and what is not in terms of broadcasting standards. But that was the animation for Cyclone Claudia and the first update that was narrated during early December 2012. It would have to take a ludicrously bad narration for the visual element to be more useful than the narration itself. It is so important to get the words out and to get it into audio sound bites, as well as those visual cues as well that you get on the storm updates. We like to think that we do the best of both here on Force 13, not only on our storm updates but now on our live events as well. Well, you saw the tropical weather bulletin earlier and how much of a staple it is in Force 13. Well, another one that I hope really will become a staple one day, I think it may already be, it's certainly up and coming, we want to bring more of them back, is Weatherbeat. A fantastic production, probably the best produced feature that we are intending to regularly run. Earlier this year we did quite a few episodes. Again, I hope we can bring them back over this winter. Here's what it looked like. I love that part, it just looks perfect. Weatherbeat is certainly one of the highlights of my editing skills, I suppose, and in terms of our production, it covers pretty much everything in terms of weather. There's a lot of information gathering involved in producing a Weatherbeat episode, and wherever possible we try to get one or two of our team members or even people extracurricular to the project to take part in it as well and to talk about what is actually going on. Now, depending on what the situation actually is, it really could be anyone that we could bring onto the show to talk about the issue at hand, just as long as we can get the person who is closest to the action. We will be pushing to bring Weatherbeat back over the winter, although the production time every day amounts to around 3 hours, and every so often, most occasions, it has been too laborious to bring that together in the time constraints that we have over here, especially with the year that we've had in 2018. Now, you saw in some previous shows during this Force 13 week that you know, some of our members like to do the Hypo World Football competition. Well, things went very sour during one particular game when Killy, Craig's team, played Columbi, Marcel's team. Oh boy.
Marcel.
Okay, Marcel, it's time to scream. Go. This really must have been the catalyst for where Marcel got his reputation as a whinging, crying, sore loser. Okay, he's not like that all the time, we love Marcel, but this is what it was like when his team lost 4-0 to Killy. This is Hollander, he's just come on the pitch, and he's just scored a goal! 2-0!
Jesus, oh, I don't have...
How about that?
My ears.
Stop raping my ears.
There's the goal, the keeper was dead central, and he still couldn't reach it. It was a fireball. 2-0 the score. And Marcel is in floods of tears on the sidelines.
I will deploy. I am doing the best right now.
You're doing what right now?
I am entering the pitch.
You're doing what with the bitch?
What?
I am entering bitch.
You are entering the bitch.
Oh,
It's the bitch.
corner.
How much more time until Gaston minute?
Just another 2 minutes till Gaston time. Oh, where's that going? Oh, it's in! Ah! Pinball in the box results in another goal. Why has it done that? It's gone sideways.
Okay,
I have no idea why that's happened. That's why it's happened. It's 3-0.
If you've still got any ears left, we now entered Gaston time, the 69th minute of the game, basically a sponsorship by Marcel's cat.
Just to represent that, it's Gaston time. It's just goal! It's happened! I can't believe it! It's 2 Gaston goals in 2 days! It's a Gaston goal!
No.
Yes, and that abrupt ending brings us back live. This is Force 13 Live. My goodness, that was the 4-0 drubbing that Marcel had to deal with back in October 2016. I'm live in the studio. My name's Nathan Foy. I'm joined by our team yet again tonight to discuss what we just witnessed in that next 10. Just 2 more 10s to go before we get to the very top of the tree.
Okay,
Number one. Oh.
That was a pathetic moment for Colombia and for the country.
This is Force 13's gods.
I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't add the thing where, like, when the game ended and he's like, and Marcel's in the world.
Marcel's a what?
You said, like, the end of the game when, like, the final whistle went off that, like, Marcel was in, like, a world of woes.
Oh, Marcel's in a world of woes. Yes, that did happen as well.
And then Marcel.
Okay, and because of that, and because of that, because of
I know what you're laughing
that
at.
Match, because
Come on,
of
spit it
that
out.
match, the Colombian government issued 3 days of
mourning.
Morning?
Yes, 3 days of mourning.
3 days.
3 days of mourning.
and also the
Which player got shot?
Oh.
All of them get terminated, Marcel.
Also, the coach Marcel was expelled.
I beg your pardon?
Because the coach of
The
the
coach.
national team
Yeah.
was expelled because he showed porn images to the press.
Excuse me?
Oh, he got depressed.
He showed porn images to the press.
He showed porn images to the press. Wonderful.
Wait, what?
That's a great
Nathan,
Colombia
also,
manager.
Don't post any home stuff.
How long does Weatherby?
We should cut out here before it.
Yeah,
before we
please.
get
Strat.
Yeah.
How long is a Weatherbeat video typically? Like.
Oh well, when we did them it was about 15 to 20 minutes.
Yes, we can put in mid rolls.
Shut up, Strat.
No. Stop.
Now, if you've got any comments or questions for us whilst we're on the air tonight, we've got a few little stints in which we'll be chatting to you. We've just got a pretty short section at the moment. Shortly, you'll be seeing the Super Cyclone Challenge episode, which featured Ram. Daniel was also in it, but he's not here because we're always on after his bedtime. So we can't get his reaction, but we can get Ram's reaction after he's seen it. And then towards the end of our stream tonight, running for an hour and a half, like we did yesterday, and I think that's going to be the running time for every show through the end of the weekend. we'll also be showing you the Team Hypo and Debuts Part 5. In between all of that, we'll probably have a little chat about what storms we saw in October and November 2018.
Ooh.
Any thoughts?
Excited.
Michael.
Yep, the obvious. I knew that was
Michael
coming.
Michael and you
Can we
two.
get Michael to be a guest on the stream tomorrow night?
Well, I don't know.
Do I still have? Wait, what's his Discord? Do
We
I
can
have it?
try.
Fine.
Do we have to do this right now, Strat?
Michael and Leslie.
Oh, I got.
What's his Discord? We need it.
Michael, Leslie, Oscar.
Wait, is that
Nadine.
it?
No.
Ah.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What? Okay, okay. Let's go to some questions.
Are you sure you want to do that, Strat?
Someone asking. Do
You want to do that, Strat?
No, whoa. Do we have storm bloopers for this year that we're gonna show? Like
We-
update bloopers.
We have. Well. Yes, but no.
Are they going to be uploaded to Force 13 Extra?
Mostly yes, because what we've actually done this time is we sort of feel like we're doing this Force 13 week, and then we're going to draw a line under everything we've done, and then we're going to sort of I may say start again. Doesn't mean anything's really going to change, but sort of like I'm putting all the bloopers that have ever happened on Force 13 into one video, and that's going out over the weekend or maybe next week. I'm not entirely sure yet, but it's nearly an hour long.
About to ask, how long is that
Get
video?
ready for an hour-long 2018
Also,
Force 13 blooper reel.
Nearly an
I've
hour
seen a lot of questions asking why is Strat unbanned, and someone has typed. There's a new hashtag called
Because I added him back.
No. There's a new hashtag called #reban Strat.
Reban Strat.
Marcel says
Reban
My
Strat.
Little
Pony.
Yes,
God,
My
Marcel.
Little Pony. Marcel,
Excellent.
would you
Marcel
like
says My Little Pony.
Anyway,
Which one's your favorite?
Force
getting
13
banned.
US asked why I'm so
Goodbye.
sleepy. The answer is because I'm sick.
I mean, I have been watching the Twitter sphere, and I must say the #ban_strat movement has fallen on its arse.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's been no tweets in the past day, guys. You're letting.
We got we got
someone's asking if
Reban
you can
Strat
sue Marcel for
twice.
permanent ear damage.
I'm
We
sure
got
you can,
Marcel
but
saying
you
My
might.
Little Pony.
But Marcel's of no fixed address, so that'll be actually quite
Greco
difficult.
Rodriguez. Ban Marcel.
Let's go to Twitter and see how the #banstrat thing
Poorly.
is going.
Just
Poorly.
as poorly as you're making this show, Strat.
Whoa!
Yes, that is true, Nathan.
Oh my gosh.
Alright. I'm
No.
sorry, guys. I'm really disappointed.
No, yes, I'm sorry as well. You've run out of time, Strat. It's time to play the Super Cyclone Challenge. Ram's on there tonight. Ram, anything you'd like to say without spoiling it before we begin?
There might be a
Lot of
couple of
band
moments
strats.
in there.
A couple of moments.
Couple of moments.
Couple of moments.
Especially if it's not been edited properly, because it was only done about an hour ago, so I can't guarantee that there aren't any issues with the editing. So we'll see what happens, and
boy.
fingers crossed, hope for the best. Here it is.
Hope for the best.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Super Cyclone Challenge. This special week during Force 13 week, we're doing Super Cyclone Challenge Doubles Edition. This is the first time we've done doubles, and it's the 4th day in which we are doing so. The first 3 were interesting for many different reasons. The last one in particular, when David and Lee were one of the first people ever to walk away of their own volition. Tonight I am joined by Ram and Daniel Hudson, nicknamed Hodson.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you both?
Doing fine. I got a little bit of a headache, but other than that, I'm doing fine.
Well, I'm sure you both know the game. Anything that you'd like to say about aspirations? How well you think you'll work together? Considering you barely know each other. Considering you barely know each other, to be honest.
Well, I think it's good being able to work as part of a team.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially when you don't know anything. Sort of fill blanks.
Well, let's not preempt the game. Maybe we'll do pretty well. So how far do you think you'll get, Daniel?
Category 2, 3, maybe.
Ooh, that Ram.
I'm hoping to at least not fail.
What did you get to in your singles game now?
115, I believe, is where I failed.
All right.
So 3.
All right then. Well, good luck. Just to read out the information that is presented to me here. You've got 4 lifelines available to begin with. The 50-50, flip the question, or the risk lifeline, or the new lifeline that's come in for this doubles edition, the half-time lifeline, where you move on to the next question, but considering that the doubles get double the amount of time normally, it goes down to what you would normally get in a single player game. For instance, in the first stage, 40 seconds on the clock for the first 4 questions, it would be dropped to 20, which is what it used to be. And if you answer 5 questions in a row, the first 5 questions, without the use of a lifeline, then you will get the double dip. No one's ever failed to do that, I believe. No, they haven't. I was just thinking to yesterday, they did get to 50 miles an hour before using a lifeline. It should be dead easy to get to tropical storm status, even for people who don't know storms, like Daniel.
And me.
Yeah.
What, you must know. Ram, you live in a storm area?
Well, yeah. Doesn't mean I know every single one.
No.
But... Or 1975 typhoons,
well,
like in my singles game, but you know.
Point. The safe zones at 40 miles an hour at the onset of tropical storm status, Category 1 hurricane 75 miles an hour, major hurricane 115, and so on. 40 seconds on the clock for the first questions, guys. Are we? I keep doing that. Are we ready?
Yeah. I should probably make the lighting better.
Oh.
Okay. Now we're ready.
Oh, he's back.
We are ready. Here we go with the first question. 20 miles an hour for this.
Okay.
Which of these US states is most likely to receive a tropical cyclone? Is it Florida, Maine, Oregon, or Alaska?
Florida.
Final answers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Daniel
Orlando,
got
Florida.
one. He got one. Correct. Well done. 20 miles an hour.
We are slowly making Hudson great again.
We are making Hudson great again. Oh, he's not very impressed by that. Next question for 30 miles an hour. How many storms form in an average Atlantic hurricane season? Is it none, 1, 12, or 450?
I'm gonna go
12.
12, yeah.
Final answers.
450.
Yeah, final answers?
Yes, final
Alright, thank you. Correct answer. We are at 30 miles an hour safely. Thank goodness.
450 storms per season.
Wow, that would be something. The next question. Which of these 2017 storms were retired? Is it Arlene, Cindy, Nate, or Philippe?
Nate.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nate.
Final answers?
Yeah.
No problem whatsoever, it's the correct answer. 35 miles an hour it is. One more will get you to tropical storm status. Question number 4. Hopefully you'll get there, no problems. Here it is. Intensity is measured by pressure, but what is strength measured by? Is it wind speed, diameter, forward movement, or sea surface temperatures?
That'd be wind speed.
Did you know it, Daniel?
Yeah, wind speed.
Yeah, he knew it. He knew it. We all knew it. It's the right answer. Tropical storm status. Hurrah! Tropical storm status for Dan Ram. Yes, Tropical Storm Dan Ram. Absolutely. It's a great name. Ram Dan.
Or Ramiel, considering you have Waniel.
Waniel.
Or Ramiel.
Ramiel. Oh, God. Another tongue
That's
twister
weird.
there. Right, if this question's right, you get the 5th lifeline. It's the 5th question. and here it is. Hurricane Gaston peaked at what category in 2016? Was it Category 2, Category 3, Category 4, or Category 5?
Pretty sure it was a 3.
I'm gonna go with 3 as well.
Final answer.
Daniel?
3.
It's the correct answer. Well done. 50 miles an hour it is. Hooray! So, unblemished. 5 lifelines. And, of course, the 1 minute on the clock for these next questions, of course, including that one that just happened. Of course, you didn't need anywhere near a minute. Here is the next question. In the Herdat record, what was the least active season in the Atlantic? Was it 2013, 1983, 1914, or 1925?
1914 had only 1 tropical storm and then a depression, if you want to count that as depression, so...
Quite depressing.
Yes.
You think it's that?
What's that? I don't know what the Herdat record is. I shouldn't be saying that on air.
Daniel?
I think it might be safe for me to go along with Ram's answer.
Yeah.
Final answers?
Yeah.
It's locked in. So you don't know what the Herdat is?
Am I wrong?
The official record that they're building.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And it is the right answer. 60 miles an hour it is. Well done.
Somebody's gonna quote me on that in like 3 years. I'm just calling it now.
Well, not
Please
as bad
don't
as
quote me on that in
not
3
as bad as
years.
your voice was 3 years ago, at least. But let's move. Let's move on.
I was 12 when I debuted. I was cringe.
Certainly
I made everyone's
was.
ears bleed. I had a talent back then for doing that.
Next question is for 70 miles per hour. Which year saw the most named storms form in the Eastern Pacific? Was it 1983, 1992, 2015, or 2018?
I think it was 92.
Yeah, 92.
Because I remember that was the last time the X name was used, so I'd go with 92. Final answer.
You also seem confident, Daniel?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
45 seconds still left on the clock there when they locked in their answer. Of course it's the right answer. We're at 70 miles an hour. Just short of hurricane status. It's going fantastically well for them. You do know the difficulty will go up a steep cliff at some point. It's happened every day so far. Where's the cliff edge going to be? But this one will get you to Category 1 hurricane status if you can give me the right answer. Here it is. Which 2 Arabian Sea storms affected Socotra Island in November 2015? Is it Chapala and Meg, Gonu and Fet, Nilofar and Ashobar, or Koman and Hudhud?
I know...
Could you repeat the question again?
Which 2 Arabian Sea storms affected Socotra Island in November 2015? Chapala and Meg, Gonu and Fet, Nilofar and Ashobar, or Koman and Hudhud?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it's either A or B, because I know Ashobar was early season and then Hudhud was way before 2015. So it's either A or B.
Chapala and Meg, Gonu and Fet, Nilofar and Ashobar, or Koman and Hudhud. 22 seconds.
I think it's A.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with A as well.
Final answer. Lifelines are available.
The one with Meg.
Yeah.
Final.
Yeah, final answer.
It's locked in. This separates you from hurricane status. Do you think you're right?
I think Meg was 2015 in the North Indian.
Daniel,
So, yeah.
have you got any idea at all?
No. but the first one does ring a bell, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, the bell that Ram just rung, yes. It is the correct answer. Well done. Category 1.
We did it. We didn't fail. horribly, at least.
So for the next stage, into stage 3, we'll now have 1 minute and 20 seconds for you to get to the right answer. Of course, you still have 5 lifelines available. I want you guys to do well. I hope you do. Question number 9 will get you to 80 miles per hour. And here is the question. Before Hurricane Patricia, what was the strongest Eastern Pacific hurricane officially? Is it Hurricane Kenna, Hurricane Ava, Hurricane Linda, or Hurricane Rick?
I think it was Linda. I know Linda got pretty low. It was like 880 or 890 something.
I'm just gonna say Linda.
Yeah.
1 minute before Hurricane Patricia, what was the strongest Eastern Pacific hurricane? You sure on this, Hurricane Linda?
I think it was Linda.
Final answers.
You good with that? Or do you have any objections?
Daniel, final answer?
I'm mostly positive.
Yes. Yeah.
Alright, final answer, Linda.
Of course it is. It's the right answer. 80 miles an hour. And we're progressing further and further. Daniel, how will you feel if you beat David and Lee?
Very happy.
What about if you beat Marcel and Frank?
Along with Hank, who was before that? Hank and
Yeah,
Isaac.
you'd beat them both if you got past 150 and walked away. God, that would be...
I will say so far I am doing a lot better than my singles game. Because I know I used at least 2 lifelines by this point.
Unnecessary ones, were they? I can't remember now. Here's the next
swear
question.
there are a bunch of geography ones.
Well, let's not jinx it then. Here's the next question. It will get you to 90 miles an hour. Here it is. Which of these storms did not make landfall in Hawaii? Is it Iniki, Darby, Flossie, or Iselle?
I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no clue.
Which of these storms did not make landfall in Hawaii? Iniki, Darby, Flossie, or Iselle?
I think Darby made landfall in Hawaii, so I think I'm ruling Darby out, but I honestly don't know anything about the other 3.
Any ideas? Flossie?
Do you want to go with Lifeline, or do you want to go with Flossie?
Lifeline.
Yeah, Lifeline.
Alright, which lifeline would you like to choose?
Is there one that takes away?
So we've got the 50-50 there, the flip the question, can give you a completely different question, the double dip where you get to choose 2 of the possible answers, the half time, which is sort of like a last ditch thing really, and even more last ditch is the risk. Which will it be?
Good double dip, maybe. What do you think?
I think I'm only so sure about
if you think it's still
Darby,
between
yeah.
3, then double dip is probably going to be a better bet for you.
Yeah. Let's do double dip.
It's
then.
your call. Yeah?
Double dip?
Yeah.
Alright then, so could you tell me what your first answer, please?
I'd go with Daniel's suggestion earlier with Flossie, I think.
You're going to go with Flossie
answer.
for your first answer?
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
I must tell you, if this is wrong, you'll have 46 seconds to give me the correct answer, okay?
Yeah.
I could tell you that Flossie is the correct answer, and you've gone further forward without even having to use that lifeline, but you did.
No.
Ah, well, they're there,
Better safe than sorry, I mean.
Better safe than sorry. I'm surprised you remember Darby without remembering Iniki, though.
I honestly don't really keep much attention to the East Pacific, because as Strat demonstrates with his Guess the Storms, nothing interesting happens there.
Oh, Iniki was Category 4 in Kauai. Well, here's the next question, which will get you to 100 miles per hour. And here it is. Which of these names is not used in the Atlantic? Is it Teddy, Van, Wilson, or Sarah?
Wilson.
Which of those names, to put in a different way, is not on an Atlantic naming list? You think it's Wilson?
Yeah, Van's been used, and Teddy and Sarah are on lists, so it'd be Wilson.
Daniel?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Strat.
Strat?
Strat.
Oh, sorry.
Shows how much they know each other. God.
I'll answer Wilson before he ran out. And
You've gone with Wilson. You've gone with it. Well, you seem confident enough, and why not? It's the right answer, 100 miles an hour. Just short now, one question away from Category 3 status. You must be pleased with that, Ram, if you get there.
I will be very pleased if I get to 115 again.
Let's hope that we do. Don't
this
do
time
anything
only
stupid.
Using one lifeline.
Don't do anything stupid.
Don't do anything stupid.
Question 12, here it is.
You've been talking to my mother lately.
Not that I know of, but I do speak to many people. I could be... you may be surprised, who knows. Let's move on. Hurricane Audrey was the only major hurricane to make landfall in the United States. In which month? Was it in May, June, July, or August?
I distinctly remember Audrey being June. I know Audrey and Alex have a share record for something in June related to that. So I'd go with June.
For definite? Daniel?
Yeah, I'm saying June is
Final answers?
Yeah.
Yes, June.
Alright, confident. June is locked in. Well, of course, it is the right answer. Major hurricane status awarded to this pair.
I with my own record. And that makes me happy.
And Daniel must be over the moon, if he's not walking on the moon. A little play on one of the songs he made. Just had to get the plug in there. Well then, we enter the next stage, and just 4 more questions until the time limit is thrown away completely. For this round, you'll have a full 2 minutes of thinking time to talk about what you guys think the right answer is.
Gasp.
Gasp. Well, we've seen on some of the...
I've never seen that before.
Well, we've seen on some of the streams, on some of the games recently, they had to take up the whole 2 minutes before they came with an answer. And Marcel got panicked very quickly, you remember that?
I do remember that.
Here's the next question. 4 lifelines available to you. Good luck. 125 miles an hour for this. What was the strongest storm to make landfall in Madagascar? Is it Inawo, Gafilo, Indlala, or Giovanna?
I'm gonna be completely honest, the only one I know of is Inawo. That is the only one of these storms I know of.
So I guess that's not particularly helpful.
I have literally no clue, so...
Daniel?
No idea.
Yeah, lifeline, I guess.
Lifeline?
Yeah, lifeline. Yeah.
1 minute 35 on the clock. Which lifeline are you going to go with?
I think Ram should decide this time.
50-50's there. We got to decide together.
I don't think, like I said, once again, I don't know any of these except Inawo, and I don't even know if that's the correct answer. So I'd probably just flip the question.
Flip the question, Daniel?
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to flip the question. Hopefully you'll get a better question, maybe one that we can get a good answer on. Another 2 minutes on the clock. Here is another question for 125 miles per hour.
Let's do this again.
Which of the following storms had the highest ACE value ever recorded, accumulated cyclone energy? Is it Hurricane Ioki, Hurricane Ivan, Hurricane John, or Hurricane Kilo?
That'd be Ioki.
You're confident? What makes you think it's Ioki?
72 was Ioki, and Ivan was like 64, and that's way above Kilo and whatever the other one was.
Hurricane John.
John, yeah. It'd be Ioki.
So it sounds like he's been doing his research. Daniel, do you concur?
Yeah.
Of course he would. Final answers.
Yes, final answer. From me.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah. No surprise, it is the right answer. 125 miles an hour, well done.
You could just completely cut off me there, but I'm assuming we got it correct.
You did get it correct.
Stupid headphones. Also again.
The next question gets you to Category 4 status, and I think two of the other pairs will be getting nervous now. You've still got 3 lifelines as we enter question 14. 130 miles an hour if you give me the correct answer. Which storm produced the highest non-tornado gust recorded on Earth? Which storm produced the highest non-tornadic gust recorded on Earth? Still didn't get it right. Is it Typhoon Tip, Hurricane Patricia, Cyclone Olivia, or Typhoon Haiyan?
Did Patricia spawn any tornadoes is the question.
I think we should go 50-50.
Just to reiterate, which storm produced the highest non-tornadic gust recorded on Earth? Non-tornadic. Typhoon Tip, Hurricane Patricia, Cyclone Olivia, or Typhoon Haiyan?
I mean, I just know that Patricia had the strongest wind speed, and that was over ocean, so I don't exactly know if that corresponds to non-tornadic, but that'd be my answer. So,
just to repeat the question once more, which storm produced the highest non-tornadic gust recorded on Earth? Typhoon Tip, Hurricane Patricia, Cyclone Olivia, or Typhoon Haiyan? Patricia?
Yeah, that's what I'd go with. But I'm not 100% confident in that.
We should go 50-50, you know.
Yeah.
Up to you if you want to take a lifeline. You going to take a lifeline?
Yeah.
47 seconds. So you've got the 50-50, the half-time, or the risk.
50-50.
Yeah.
By far.
Okay. We are now conducting the 50-50, and I can tell you that it's between Typhoon Tip and Cyclone Olivia. Time starts now.
So I clearly don't know what non-tornadic means, and this is going to go great.
Your answer's gone. It's up to you. You can take another lifeline, advance to the next question if you're really at a dead end and don't want to get it wrong. Walk away, or go with one of these. You've got 28 seconds.
So I gotta decide quickly. My next answer would be... Yeah, I just dropped a quarter. My next answer would probably be Tip, because that's just the storm I know better.
You need to decide.
Yeah, that's
Tip.
what
All for nothing.
as well.
I'll be happy with 115, so...
Final answers.
I say final until... Final answer, Tip.
Daniel? Okay.
Yeah.
Almost use all your time there. Do you think it's right?
I'd be happy with 115 again, personally.
Daniel, do you think it's right?
Yeah.
I'd like to hope it's right.
Well, you're going with 115 again. It's not the right answer. The correct answer was Cyclone Olivia, which recorded over, I think it was about 254 mile per hour gust on the coast of Australia back in 1996.
Yeah.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Way more than any of the other
storms. You learn
storms.
something new every day.
Yeah.
115 miles an hour. It was a cakewalk for a long time, but you got stumped mainly on this question. It really, the last two questions there really did it for you. But you did better than David and Lee, and you're wedged in between them and the other two couples. Oh, they'll hate me calling them couples. How did you
we
feel?
could be a couple as well.
Well,
if you want to consider us that.
Yes, well, I don't think the Marcel and Frank thing will go well. I think they'll be divorced pretty soon.
Oh dear. I'm pretty happy with, just doing really well again.
As long as you reach your target, I'm happy. Daniel, I'm sure, has done much better than he anticipated to.
Yeah, definitely.
He doesn't sound
this
convinced, but
time
okay.
I hit the what the question for category 4. So.
Just didn't quite hit that intensity. Well,
yeah.
There they go. 115 miles an hour was their final score, and if you think you can do better, then we're doing another new series of singles Super Cyclone Challenge early next year. Dates yet to be decided. Send a message to contact@force13.com if you wish to take part. You can also, of course, contact us on any of our well-established social mediums. You'll find them either on the description of any of our live events or on our About page on YouTube. That's all from us tonight. They did fairly well. We'll see you again soon for another episode of the Super Cyclone Challenge Doubles. Good night. Well, there we go.
At least there was no bloopers this time.
No bloopers.
Unlike the last one.
Yes. Well, that was the Super Cyclone Challenge once again, and we are back again in the studio here on Force 13 Live during Force 13 week, and I hope you're enjoying the week as it is, and that last game there. I'm going to throw it first of all to Ram himself to tell us what he thought of that game. And first of all, question for you there, are you going to repaint your room?
Am I going to repeat my room and like the fact that my room color is category 3, category 4 color, just because that's the color I chose like 7 years ago?
You got to repaint it. You're never going to get past Cat 3.
Yeah, I got to repaint it to category 5 color. All right.
Never going to get
That'll
any
be on my
further.
to-do list. But yeah, about the game, I mean, to be honest, what should I say? Yeah, I mean, it was just really awkward at first because I actually have never talked to Daniel.
Working
honestly,
with Hodson, what was it like?
I honestly felt, I mean, it went well, and I think we made a great team, and if we ever had to do doubles again, and I would pick him as a partner, and it just, I mean, it was just a really fun game. I mean,
If you were set on the wrong answer, he'd just agree with you. It was just lucky that you got it right so many times.
Someone asked a good question. How do y'all know these useless facts?
That's a good
I
question.
just do. That's just me
I
in
must
real life.
say-
I just know the most useless stuff.
People will think
to be honest.
people probably think that I do supremely well in the Super Cyclone Challenge. I can tell you, I probably would not.
I want to see an episode where Nathan
Isn't
actually
Hank doing some
participates.
questions so he can do it on you?
No, he did it so that I could do it on others because I ran out of questions.
Yeah, but he can make some on his own and then.
I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could. And I'd probably get to category 1.
Oh.
And I'm sure there'll be some sort of bias if it's me.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Someone asked, do you think that the hurricane or tropical storm will form in the Atlantic this December?
and just a minute. Even if those questions were about the history of Force 13, if it's outside of the research I've done for this week, I won't know either because my memory's like a sieve these days. So yeah, the Atlantic. Well, there's, in my opinion, a 15% chance of Atlantic activity in December based off models right now.
So no animations.
And that means the 2018 Atlantic hurricane season is not going to be out anytime soon. Sorry, folks. It's just the truth.
Disappointment.
Alright, that guy's
Just
getting
the
timed out.
facts. I mean, you know,
you're
if...
gone.
Well, you know, we'll be doing a check on the 4th of December, and if the model runs are not showing anything in the following 16 days, then we might start. So, we'll see. Last year it came out on the 9th of December, so we'll see how it goes.
I mean, you can always
I
animate
wrote
what's
20
already happened.
Well, I wouldn't want to do it again.
I mean, no, in the 2016 prank, Alex ruined everything, so.
Yep, Alex always
Yep.
ruins everything.
Mm-hmm. And you could have just considered that the preliminary early 2016 hurricane season.
The Atlantic
If you put
hurricane
out any
season was
before-
ruined in 2015, 16, 17, and 18.
Start early.
Hi, Justin.
Turn your
Yes.
face cam.
Welcome to the stream, Marcel.
Wait, hold
Welcome
up.
to the
It's
stream,
Geo
Gaston.
Jackson with you
Here's
right
about
now.
Marcel.
Just everybody cares about Gaston, and nobody cares about
Yeah.
Marcel.
And what, are we supposed to talk about
Outrageous.
October right now?
Yeah, oh god, Gaston is here.
Yeah.
That is actually Marcel's cat.
I only see the black circle. I only
We
see the
feel
blue
sorry for him.
Anything.
What?
Save Gaston.
Save Gaston. Hashtag.
Gaston.
If
Yeah.
hashtag ban strat doesn't work, hashtag save Gaston has got to work. Come on, let's get going with the campaign.
In order to
maximize
the
Gaston will be given away to a better family.
It doesn't work when two
$5,000
people
a
are
month.
talking.
$5,000 a month ensures that Gaston will be given away to a better family.
Yeah, well, I'm
And
sure a
whose
lot of people will
family
do
will
that.
be? That's the real question.
Whoever pays the most money.
That's Strat's world for you.
Donald Trump donates.
And this is how we scam people.
I'd just like to point out that Atlantic Hurricane season is over.
Oh, it's not.
First reactions? Yes, it is.
Well, in
it's 9:05 Eastern.
UTC is how it's officially done, Strat.
That's fake news. Oh wait, you're right. God.
Wow.
Wow.
And this is why we banned you yesterday.
I was just going to say, why does the National Hurricane Center have the UTC time in their headquarters then?
I mean, for the U.S., for me, Strat, it is 9:05 p.m. currently.
And
on
for
the
a lot
30th.
of everyone else who's watching. We have got a few things to get through because we've only got 15 minutes here. So let's talk about what happened in October in the big wide world out there. We were still busy, weren't we?
Michael and YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael and YouTube. Leslie and Oscar.
The third strongest storm to make landfall in American history, and then tied
Third
for
most
the
intense.
Force
not
13
strong.
now.
Yeah, third most
And
intense.
U2 is tied at 185 miles per hour if you're going through the Force 13 standard.
Although
with the Labor Day
it's
hurricane.
kind of weird. U2's
What?
a weird one with the pressure.
Hold on just a minute. Black Belt, were you talking about you two then?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I thought you were still talking about Michael.
No.
No.
Well, it's weird to
I'll
tell
talk about
how
U2.
strong U2 actually was. 'Cause all we have is satellite imagery and damage because the wind pressures.
We'll get onto that shortly. First of all, let's show some imagery here of Michael. There's an image from SSEC just before the landfall. Look at the storm in its perspective there. There's a lot of videos that I won't be able to show you, unfortunately, but you know where to go. Just search Hurricane Michael satellite imagery on our channel, and there's a few results. There's an early picture. Looked terrible there. A bit
It was
later.
crazy just to see it.
Starting to look better in the Western Caribbean there, and starting to develop as it moved further towards the north. There it is, developing a little bit of an eye just off the coast of Cuba. Oh, that is one image there. There is another one moving into the Gulf. I love that imagery. That is GOES 16 imagery, that a particular enhancement that I've only ever seen with GOES 16, and I'm really digging that. There's another one when it was developing, intensifying, October 9th. There's a right close-up on infrared. That's after landfall. I don't have the landfall one with me by the looks of things because we're probably on air. But I decided to get the picture on that one because you can see the eye of the storm is right over the tri-point of Florida, Georgia, and Alabama there. And it was still quite pronounced.
Wasn't it a Category 3 at the time it hit that place, actually, once it got there?
Just coming
Yeah,
down.
it was like 125.
It's a
I believe.
major hurricane when it got to that point.
Like inland Georgia, it was a Cat 3, and that was actually the strongest Georgia had seen a hurricane since like late 1800s.
And there it is over South Carolina as a much weaker system. And there it was, becoming less tropical as it neared the Outer Banks of North Carolina and the Mid-Atlantic coast.
Yep. Someone was asking the argument if it was a Cat 5 or...
Well,
Oh,
that is an argument, isn't it? Is it a Cat 5? Does anyone disagree and thinks it's a Cat 4?
What are you talking
I know. I
Michael.
disagree that it was a 5.
Well, judging from the damage, it's very hard to argue.
The damage from the ground seemed like an EF4 tornado.
Mexico Beach got leveled completely. That's where the storm made landfall.
Can't
So
find any
it's
pictures.
hard to say that it was not
Just
a
the
Cat
model runs.
5.
Oh well.
we're back to the
Especially
first
because it
one.
intensified going into landfall.
It is a very close one. I mean, I would accept both answers, to be honest.
And we didn't expect it to be a category. We expected it to weaken before landfall. Storms don't usually make or strengthen as they get into landfall on the Gulf Coast.
When Michael actually first formed, they originally did not expect it to become a hurricane, the NHC, when PTC...
I think it was originally supposed to be 70 miles per hour.
It was.
Yeah, then it was 70, then 65,
They
then
blew
back
that.
to 70.
And then it was 75. Then I just remember, I think it was the 9th or the 10th, rapidly intensified, and I was just like, whoa, okay then.
I think that's what threw me off as well, Ram, when we were looking at it the night before landfall. Its eye was well south of all, the convection looked really disorganized, and then the next morning we're seeing this well-defined, centered monster getting ready to barrel on the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah, I just remember looking at my phone, like around 8 a.m. that morning. It was 105, and I'm like, okay, this might be a bit more than I expected. And of course, it ended up being a bit more than what we all expected.
It got right before landfall, it was 125, 130, and it still looked very ragged. It really didn't have the presentation
No, that was 2 days before.
of a 4, and then that next morning we saw that monster that we all saw hitting at landfall.
Yep.
I think I brought up this question in one of the in the 5-year high-end stream. But, you know, it's interesting to note that we're seeing a bit of a trend of storms intensifying more as they approach landfall in the past year or so. We've seen Harvey, Michael, and Mancut in the past year or so as strong storms intensify right before landfall.
Mancut, not so much of a strange case.
Yeah.
It's the Philippines.
Not that much for Mancut, yeah.
But it raises the question whether or not we're seeing more of a trend now.
Not over 1 year. It's going to have to be longer.
Yeah.
We have to wait 10. I'm not a patient person,
during,
though.
I know you're not patient, Strat.
I think we discussed it during the stream on Michael about the shallow shelf waters and how much they would influence.
We're struggling with Tim at the minute.
Support that.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was
He's
completely
out of
off.
sync at the minute as well, so I don't understand what's going on at his end. Tim?
If you told... Oh.
No, now we can't.
Tim?
Now I'm not sure.
still here.
Oh.
If you came back a week when the first day as Michael formed, and then you told me that it would be an extremely high-end Cat 4, maybe Cat 5, then I would probably told you guys are crazy.
Honestly, it was the same thing with Florence. If you told me Florence hit the U.S. 10 days out, I'd say they're crazy. And that's exactly what I said to a bunch of people. You're crazy.
There was one model run which had Florence almost near New York City with 894 millibars.
Oh, please.
But only with 120 mile per hour winds when checking through 10-minute winds. Through the 10-minute
That's
meter
just
winds.
how
was just stupid
like,
modeling.
that was like last year there was YouTube channels that are gonna be like Irma hits New York on 9/11.
Oh yes,
And then we saw that
clearly
again this year with Florence. It's just
No,
most people
stop.
expected it to turn out to C4 hit Bermuda, and then every day you saw the long range models inch west bit by bit by
More
bit. And you
west.
saw the
No.
NHC forecast move further and further south and west.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
initially we were
I'll
expecting it
tell
to
you one
pass
thing,
east of
that-
Bermuda,
Okay.
or and then north of it.
We've gone
and
off
then it
topic.
went south in a way.
We got to
Okay,
move
I'll
on.
tell you one thing.
Get back
Strat.
on topic with
We got to
Michael
move
October.
on. I'm sorry,
too.
Frank. I think that was.
Let's
You
get
two
some-
looked like this when it was first intensifying with those massive cloud tops really blowing up all the way, and it really looked formidable for a while. There it was intensifying, and there it was near the end of its intensification phase, and a little bit stronger there, some visible imagery, and of course we know what it did to those Mariana Islands. That's just after it struck the islands there, looking weaker, and that's pretty much the storm at its peak in this image here. Guys, how strong do you think this storm was?
I'd probably go with 185 with the
Yeah.
Force 13 standards.
It's kind of wonky to get the best estimate though because of the pressure reading. The damage is definitely Category 5, but once you get past
Yeah.
160, there's not going to be a significant difference in
Yeah, I mean,
total
I-
damage necessarily.
I-
That's why there isn't a Category 6.
Until we hear otherwise from the National Weather Service, there is no evidence that this storm was lower than 930s millibars. And that is one of the biggest paradoxes in the storm world right now.
When U2 made landfall on the U.S. Mariana Island right there north of Guam, if you count the Force 13 stats, then it would tie the Labor Day hurricane for the strongest hurricane landfall of all time at 185 miles per hour.
It's hard to say how strong it was, though, because unless we get definitive data, you can only assume that it was a Category 5 that far north at this time of year with a pressure in the 930s, unless there was an extreme anomaly in how tight the pressure gradients.
The thing is, well, there probably wasn't, but the thing is, 2 pressure stations would have to be wrong at airports for this storm, for the pressure to be lower than the 930s. So the evidence that we have at the minute is that on Tinian, or was it Saipan? Sorry, Saipan, when the storm was about, I can't remember the exact numbers. Storm was about 14 miles out, the eye of the storm from Saipan, when it gave out its last pressure reading, which was in the 940s.
Oh.
This is why they need
before it went offline. So, okay, you could dismiss that one and say that, okay, it might be a wrong reading. There's typhoon force sustained winds in that. But then on Guam, the lowest pressure in Guam, you can see it there, how close it was to the storm. The lowest pressure recorded there on the northern tip of Guam was 994 millibars. Devon knows a lot more about the pressure gradients than I do, and he calculates that that only corresponds with what the Saipan station was corresponding to, with a pressure in the 930s. So both of those would have to be incorrect.
This is
Seems
why
a bit
we
of a
recon
stretch.
on the Western Pacific, and it's incredibly each year when we need more data to get precise information to inform people that we don't have it, because, you know, one year JCWC said how vital aircraft was to their analysis and predictions, and the next year they say satellites so great that they don't need airplanes anymore.
They just contradicted themselves.
1987 they said that.
Even though
JCWC
the,
super foolish.
and even though Marcel
on anymore.
Great.
And even though Recon was kind of a bit of a letdown in, you know, the Atlantic this year, it still provided information that helped people out.
And not only that, it helps models as well. Models use the data used by recon planes as well.
Yeah, I mean, we got annoyed at AS301.
Necessary is very good.
Marcel, excuse me, what are you saying?
What are you saying, Marcel?
Recon is very good.
Oh, okay.
It's very necessary.
Good.
And
I agree.
Yeah, we got annoyed at AS301 multiple times for being faulty 3 times in 3 days covering Florence, but it still provides good information.
There's U2's landfall in the Philippines in the end. We covered that extensively, of course.
I wrote articles on that. Pegasa never responded to my request for comment, too. I'm very unhappy with them.
Oh, there's a size comparison. U2 versus Michael. That was to scale.
I'm still pretty upset about that.
Since you mentioned Michael... Oh, go on.
I was going to say, it's been almost 2 months now. Pegasa has not responded to my email, so I'm very unhappy.
Well, I don't think they will now, will they?
Well, you know, they could still respond out of kindness, you know?
Oh, yeah. You might get a Christmas card from them.
I really hope so. That'd be really nice of them to mail one to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of mail, Strat has has sent an order to me of a can of Flex Seal.
Oh.
I did actually do that tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think my only complaint with you two is Pegasa did not really take their time and look at the situation correctly. I know, Nathan, when you and I were covering you two, that they had Signal 3 warnings due to the magnitude of that storm. I honestly think they should have had some Signal 4s up there in that area.
We were talking about that. We were live, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
I mean,
I think that was. I think that was our biggest complaint.
Signal 4s.
I think we got lucky though with the storm. It could have been much stronger by the time it got close to.
Absolutely, it could have been a 4.
Well, you said I remember you saying it was the shock of the year to see U2 capitulate on itself.
It was, yes.
Did not expect that.
Definitely.
It just killed
itself. There was an optimal sea surface temperatures, low shear, deep ocean heat content, moist area around it, and the eye just went away. It just fell apart, and it failed multiple eyeball replacement cycles.
Yep.
Guys, we're pretty much out of time. Shortly, we're going to be showing the Team Hypo, but I'm trying to find a way to get to show it to the team live, but I don't think I can.
Share a screen of the monitor or whatever, something like that?
No, I'm unable to do that while streaming.
Oh.
So sad.
Oh, no.
So sad.
Since you were mentioning Michael, the NAM 3K model, I believe, in my opinion, was the most accurate in predicting Michael.
Well, there we are.
We'll just have to type in the chat, guys.
Here comes Debuts Part 5. We'll be back to see if we can figure out a workaround to this. Debuts Part 5. We get to see 4 more of our members on their first appearances. Here it is.
I think this is my first.
Texas invasion continued into the later part of 2017 when Gabe joined during Hurricane Week, and he was on one of the panels. People are here at hand right now to talk about what's been going on throughout the last year, and the first part covers all the storms that happened. Well, I'd say all the storms, there weren't actually that many. The storms that formed between December 2016 and February 2017. I'm joined by Craig at the top right hand side of your screen, also by Marcel at our bottom right, and a new guest who may introduce themselves, who knows.
Hello.
What's your name?
I don't think you can see me.
I know. I've got a little
name's-
glitch here. I don't know if that's the same with... Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Gabe Davis. I'll just introduce my name.
Excellent. And we'll be talking about what happened in December 2016 through February 2017 in this installment.
Can people hear me?
Yes. Oh, there we go. I'm appearing now. Am I? No, I'm not. Okay, I'm here again. Just had a random slide appear in front of me.
I see it.
That's Cesar laughing in the background.
No, Nathan. Not hearing.
Yes. Gabe appeared pretty much every day during Hurricane Week 2017 and was on 1 or 2 other features as well, including storm coverage. He appeared for a total of 27 hours to date. Here's who we have in the room right now, quite a lot of people. Dane, Hank, Craig, Isaac, Cesar and Gabe. Wonderful. Our membership changed very little into the early to middle part of 2018, and by July, Mike had joined from Florida. Yes, shocking to use David's verbiage from earlier. This is Force 13 Live, and we are currently tracking several systems. You know, the technology here completely went to pot. Not the first time that's ever happened. And now the visual part isn't working so well either. You won't be able to see me by the looks of things. Oh well, at least we can take a look at our Discord team this evening, consisting of David and Mike. Good evening, both.
Good evening, Nathan, and here we are once again.
We expect Chris to reach Category 2 intensity.
The National Hurricane Center came out with their update just a few moments ago. The last update had 85 miles an hour, and I'm just seeing this for the first time myself as well. They're actually going with 90 miles an hour for the peak now, so Category 2 is certainly possible.
I personally think it's possible.
Just a few weeks later, Dimitri arrived and appeared on just a couple of our streams. However, that is what many people did in the very active 2018 season around the world, and everyone just came in and came together. We had a lot of very different members throughout the whole year chipping in. Our attention is pretty much turned wholly to Hurricane Lane, which is still defying the odds and is a Category 4 on the Saffir-Simpson scale with winds of 130 miles per hour. That's the latest. Hasn't changed for quite a while now, according to the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. And last but certainly not least in this hour is Dimitri joining us for the first time. Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. Coming from Long Island, this is I'm surprised at the moment that it's still a Category 4 lane, but it's the first, and I'm glad to be here today for this first 13 event.
Finally, during the early stages of Tropical Storm Gordon, we saw Frank arrive. I didn't actually ask how you'd like to be referred to, but you go by the name of Gwyneth on here.
Yes. Yeah, Gwyneth is fine.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Alright, and you've been tracking this storm as well. What are your thoughts?
Well, obviously, like the other said, it's a situation that's developing right now, and we need to pay close attention to it. Whether it does go Category 1 status or not, still it could impact the Gulf Coast.
Frank is still relatively new to the project, but is already known for his interaction within the community and for helping Marcel in the Super Cyclone Challenge this week. That's right, I wasn't expecting it to end just there, but it did, and now I do believe that we can show the Team Hypo to the team live, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, this is going to be terrible.
Cracking my knuckles. Getting ready for this.
You see, the Force 13 computer had a funny one this time around. And it's done all kinds of stupid things this year, so be prepared for total disarray in the Atlantic for 2018. The computer is supposed to represent a normal Atlantic hurricane season, but clearly that has not happened, has it, Strat?
I've seen the tracks, and I can say absolutely not.
You've seen the tracks?
I mean, 2018 wasn't normal in itself, Mr. Seven's Tropical Storms.
You've seen the tracks, but you've not seen the animation. Now it's time to show it. Here it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Oh, here we go.
So much noise.
Oh, yes. It is completely
Crikey.
lagging for me, but that is okay.
Alright, we'll have instant reactions from the team.
Well, for me, it's Strat and Tim.
Oh, man.
1L is Alex.
Alex the moron?
Could be. Who knows?
I am a meme.
What?
Still a tropical storm.
There it goes.
Still a tropical storm.
This is a weird one. This is a really weird one. Trust me.
What, 2L?
Not this one. No,
Not
the
this one.
after it.
Oh, you mean yourself, Strat
Yeah.
Becker.
No, 2L.
Yes, this is a very weird one.
We really struggle for names this year.
North of Suriname is where I'm from.
Yes.
In June, no less.
Cat one of the Antilles.
Nope.
Tropicals 2 landfalls.
No.
And what is this? Intensifying through the Bahamas?
Well, I don't know what it was thinking.
That was sad. I thought Strat would be a 5.
No.
I was a 5 in
Oh,
2016.
he was.
Well,
And then I was a
that would've
tropical
just
storm
been
last year.
he's a major. Be happy for that.
Up here's 4.
Who's it gonna be?
Yeah, 4 already.
Who's it gonna be?
Cesar.
Is it gonna be someone?
Cesar.
Yay.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Oh, Cat 3. Four.
Just out.
What is this?
It's outrageous, isn't it?
Category 4.
Almost that
Crazy,
time.
Mike, this is crazy.
Now we move. to the
Now we go out to the Cape Verde area.
Yeah. You know something bad's gonna happen.
Cape Verde in July never gets signed.
We got 5 here.
You getting worried? Oh, it's gone.
Oh.
So disappointing. What a letdown.
Disappointing.
My
Really
screen is frozen. Oh no.
What is this?
David.
David,
David?
what are you doing?
You still here? Look at yourself.
There we go.
Your tropical depression.
Up 7.
David's back.
Let's go.
Nope, David's gone again. David's back.
And it's back.
And it's gone again.
Evan isn't a real person.
Nope, and David's gone again.
There goes Frank. Yes, yes.
There's
David's back.
again. Oh, now it's gone.
Evan isn't a real person. This is just we couldn't find an E.
Florence, what virus is right there.
It's Gabe.
Gabe pulling an opal.
Gabe.
I don't know why the icons are breaking like that, but never mind. And up it goes. David was a weird one.
We went through the intensities like 6 times and didn't become a hurricane or at all.
That's just peak sadness in a storm.
Refresh your page and
Here's
lag.
I don't know about the lag. It's working fine here.
Isaac.
Subtropical storm Hank.
Oh,
Okay,
Isaac's
Isaac.
starting in the same position
Oh.
as he did last year.
Oh, Isaac becoming a 5, maybe?
Oh!
Is it your fault?
Can you do it?
The excitement is ridiculous. That excitement was ridiculous.
Ian is coming.
No.
Oh.
And into the Achilles.
Oh, 13.
Just
It's a
died.
13 died.
Oh, there goes Isaac.
It disintegrated, yeah. Stalled and then
Isaac?
got eaten by windshield.
Died.
Oh no.
John.
Shut up, John.
This shut up,
Shut up,
John.
John.
We better get John to shut up after this.
Shut up, John needs to be
Why are you
shut
going that
up
way?
here, and you will
Oh,
see
there's
why.
There's Keith.
This is unbelievable.
There's
Flat
Keith.
earther.
Look at what it's gonna do. John.
Yep, that happened. And then Keith does that. So, you know.
I refuse to believe this is
By the Philadelphia latitude.
Stupidest part of the video
I
there.
refuse to believe it.
Happened.
And then
Mike's
Lee
gonna be
becomes a
cat
5.
I'm calling it. Lee's a cat 5.
Mike becomes a 5.
Orlando's a storm.
Everything's going
Oh my
around
God.
in circles.
Oh,
What is happening?
Cat 4 Orlando. Oh, Cat 5.
Mike pretty much pulling an Andrew, right?
Who's
Oh
that?
dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah, Isaac the Seth.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gosh.
Yeah,
Created a monster.
there is Ringo.
Come on.
My screen's frozen again.
So sad. That's a poor storm, Tim. I'm so sorry. I couldn't get anything better for you. Daniel Sam Hudson.
Oh.
My screen has frozen on October the 8th.
Tomas. That's Marcel's real name, folks. Tomas.
Yes, that is.
Tomas.
Oh, there it
What
goes.
is Tomas gonna do?
It's gonna do a Leslie.
Oh, Hurricane.
Guys, look at the chat, please.
Valerie.
I'm not looking
Valerie.
at that.
Valerie's not real either. William,
William.
as in Devon Williams. It's not a very good link.
William.
We gotta have Devon somewhere. Oh, it's gone.
Oh,
There's
It went
Valerie.
top.
And Tomas.
Wait a
and there goes Valerie. And there you go.
No, this went into the Greek alphabet.
There was no
And
Ram,
I
and that
was sad
disappoints
for
me.
you.
I guess that was Ringo.
Whoa.
We ran out of time, Strat.
Aw.
165 model.
Keep that under your hat, Strat.
165, 160,
Keith
165.
was 165. No.
A Cat 5.
I just like how we had no Ram, but we
Why
had
is he
Ringo, and
crying?
That is okay.
Why is Marcel crying?
What is this?
Well, Mike would be retired, John retired, Sam retired.
Probably.
I'll tell you one thing, I'm gonna pull a Devin here.
So that's
Keith
that.
was a cat 4.
Keith is a very special fellow. He's your dad. Keith is special.
Cat 5 latitude at 42 degrees.
Someone just
What?
said Strat Cat 5 200 mph.
Good night, folks. It's been a great
Good
night.
night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Thank
We'll
you.
see you again tomorrow.
Night number 6.
Have a great night. Bye, everyone.
What was
Good night.
that?